Welcome to the news at 10. We're live in Abuja on Nta News24. I am Comfort Amadu. The headlines. Federal government integrating technology into educational infrastructure to address human capacity.
All parts of the federation should have a sense of buy-in and belonging.
Nigerian Center for Disease Control raises health concern, deploys rapid response team to Northeast. "400 deportees decry treatment by UAE officials."
If those who have come back really have those permits, I haven't seen one, so if they have the permits, of course it's within their rights to make a case and ensure that they return.
The World Bank is proposing partnership on key human capital projects to boost health, governance and education, and the federal government is saying it will integrate technology into nation's educational infrastructure to address human capacity and resource challenges. That's to improve learning, as Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the assurance during a meeting with the World Bank Nigeria team led by the country's director Nta News24 at the presidential villa. Let's get more on this from State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila.
Committed to driving change in the country by evolving global technological landscape, Vice President Kashim Shettima said the Tinubu administration will harness all available opportunities to add value to the country. Making reference to India's success in using smart class solutions to teach students in rural areas, Vice President Shettima says a similar innovation could revolutionize Nigeria's education system. During their presentation on opportunities for prosperity and equity in Nigeria's human capital, leader of the team and World Bank's country director for Nigeria outlined their focus on improving governance, health and education across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory.
It's also addressing the governance issues that are upstream to the delivery of services at the facility level, making sure that the resources, financial resources, go all the way down to the facility and are utilized, making sure that the healthcare workers and the teachers are not only recruited in good quality, but also are present to deliver those services. We are very enthusiastic about the reaction of the Vice President. The Vice President mentioned how this is important for the President and has really encouraged us to implement this work on this program and finalize it, implement it as soon as possible.
The projects are part of a broader push to reform governance processes, primary health care and education, with an emphasis on human capital development. Meanwhile, Vice President Kashim Shettima has reiterated the commitment of the Tinubu administration to partnering with the 36 states of the Federation to address the challenges of flood and other natural disasters in Nigeria. He stated this when he received Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, who paid him a commiseration visit at the presidential villa over the ravaging flood in Maiduguri, Borno State, following the collapse of a dam in the state.
All parts of the federation should have a sense of buy-in and belonging. So we cannot thank you for your stellar leadership in the National Assembly. In spite of having nearly 70% of the members as newly sworn-in members, you were able to keep the flag flying. There is a lot of stability in the House of Representatives, and we have to commend you for providing that leadership. We wish you well, and inshallah, you are one of the fulcrums of our democratic journey, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. A harmonious relationship between the tree strands are very essential to sustain democracy in this country.
I used that opportunity to discuss extensively on the problems and the situation of the people, particularly those affected by the flood in Borno. And we have also designed some strategies and solutions that both the National Assembly and the Presidency will implement in the next few days to bring succor to the victims of the flood in Borno State.
From the State House, Abrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Flood is ravaging some parts of the country, and Borno State is the latest. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control has deployed a rapid response team to the northeast states to strengthen surveillance activities and following health risks associated with flooding. NCDC's Director General Dr. Jide Idris disclosed this while giving an update on the latest nationwide efforts. Oluseyi Adiago reports.
Nigeria continues to grapple with reported cases of waterborne diseases like cholera, diarrhea, and hepatitis, as well as emerging ones like the Mpox outbreak, all posing a significant threat to public health. Flood water heightens health risks, making people vulnerable to infectious diseases, chemical hazard, and injuries. The Nigerian CDC Director General says its agency has been coordinating national responses and support to devastated flood areas, with the latest efforts focused on Maiduguri, the Borno State capital.
Flooding also have the health consequences. Flooding can increase the number of diarrhea cases, it can increase the number of cholera cases, gastroenterological typhoid cases. That's why it's very essential for us again to address this issue. Both states now should get ready, especially in Borno State where we have this. Our staff are working with NEMA now again to help address these issues.
The NCDC Mpox epidemiological summary as of August 2024 indicates suspected cases have increased from 834 to 1,031 in 34 states of the Federation and the FCT, with 67 confirmed cases recorded across 23 states and the FCT without fatalities. Akwa Ibom and Enugu states are leading in the Mpox charts with 8 cases each. The Nigeria CDC also updates that ongoing Lassa fever outbreak has seen over 7,973 suspected cases and 168 deaths across 28 states, while cholera has claimed 216 lives in 2024.
As we're having a downward trend in Lassa fever and meningitis since we've deactivated the EOC, we also do know that in the next couple of weeks and 2-3 months, because these diseases are seasonal, we are likely to be seeing increasing cases of those diseases again. So it is now incumbent on us to prepare now, to start preparing for situations and strategies that will not allow us to see as many of those cases as possible this next season. But what we are trying to do now is increase the number of laboratories all over the country to build their capabilities to be able to test for Mpox.
Another request by the center is a strengthened collaboration of key players in human health, agriculture, and environment sectors under the One Health approach. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adiagbo, Nta News.
All right, let's get the current situation from Abubakar Musa, who is live in Maiduguri, regarding the flooding situation. Hello, Abubakar.
It's nice to see you actually, Comfort. The flood situation in Maiduguri and environs is lessening. In fact, it's lessening in some areas. Information made available to us this morning indicates that a lot of residents at the 505 housing estate at the outskirts of Maiduguri and some communities along the axis have been trapped in the water. Also, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has confirmed that 30 persons have lost their lives so far. Now, while the water is receding in some areas in Maiduguri and environs, the situation is, however, different in places like this where I am standing right now. If you look carefully, you will notice that the whole of this place is flooded. And this particular way that I'm standing right now links to the show of Borno's Palace, the popular post office, and of course the Maiduguri Monday Market. However, the Borno State government and other humanitarian organizations like the National Emergency Management Agency are doing all that they can to contain the situation.
All right, we hear that the Nigerian Center for Disease Control has raised concern over the possible outbreak of diseases and is currently deploying a rapid response team to the northeast. What areas do you actually think require urgent and critical attention? All right, Abubakar Musa, if you can hear me, I'm asking the areas that you actually think require urgent attention as the NCDC is actually deploying a response team to the northeast.
Of course, and obviously, the 505 housing estate that I just talked about, I categorically told you that a lot of residents in the area have been trapped in the water. In fact, they are hopeless at the moment.
I understand I heard what you said, but there's a projection that there might be outbreak of diseases in the northeast, and because of that, the NCDC is deploying a team there. So I'm asking what areas in Borno State you think that the NCDC should pay key attention to quickly?
I think almost all the areas that the flood has affected, for instance, like Goingi, like Fori, like the Lagos Bridge, like some parts of Modganari, and of course the show of Borno's Palace, among other places. I think these are the areas that will require a quick intervention of authorities like the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and other related organizations to come to the aid of the people to avert any eventuality that's talking about the outbreak of diseases, especially waterborne diseases.
All right, Musa Abubakar there giving us latest updates on the flooding situation from Borno State. We'll keep in touch with you on current happenings there. Thank you very much. All right, let's take a quick break. More stories ahead. Stay with us.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, tune in to Nta News24, DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 26, StarTimes channel 101 and 433, and Free TV channel 703.
According to Minister of Information and National Orientation, ongoing implementation of transformational policies are unlocking the country's potential, and it has emboldened the federal government not to relent until it takes Nigeria to the promised land of prosperity. At an expanded management retreat, he emphasized that the National Orientation Agency under his watch will not compromise its efforts towards a national rebirth through national value reorientation. Details with Saliu Abdullahi Gwanara.
The expanded retreat was an opportunity for the participants to enjoy the uncommon interface directly with the henchman of the ministry. With a promise to boldly and confidently push harder, the minister wants participants to be relevant drivers and worthy ambassadors as the nation is already on a journey of lasting transformation.
When I paid my maiden visit to the NOA in October of 2023, I recall saying that I look forward to working with the agency to, and I quote, kickstart on the President's directives, a nationwide reorientation and reawakening campaign, and I'll be requiring a comprehensive roadmap from you within the shortest possible time. You already have the experience of doing this, as well as the skills and the enthusiasm to do so, end of quote. I am delighted, therefore, today to say that we have since then gone very far in this regard, producing a brand new national values charter for our dear country, in line with the President's commitment to a moral, ethical, and cultural reawakening across the land, and the entrenchment of the right values, attitudes, habits, and perspectives deep in the hands and minds of the people of this great nation.
The National Values Charter, the minister said, was developed as a tool for social cohesion to promote unity with unique implementation plans.
1. To ensure that all Nigerians are fully aware of their rights and protections under the Constitution and the laws of the land, and that governments at all levels are equally aware of all the constitutionally guaranteed obligations that they have to the citizenry. Second, to sensitize and awaken all Nigerians to all of our responsibilities as citizens of this great and beautiful country.
National reorientation, the minister acknowledged, is the way to go in fostering sustainable peace and guarantee confidence among the leaders and the led. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Crude oil contributes 14.56 trillion naira to Nigerians' exports in the second quarter as Ogun and NEPC collaborate to support cashew industry. Let's join Tokwe Alabi for these stories and more.
Crude oil exports contributed 14.56 trillion naira to the country's total exports in the second quarter of the year, making up 74.98% of the total export value, according to the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics. The NBS, in a report titled Foreign Trade in Goods Statistics, second quarter of 2024, released on Wednesday, stated that the country's total merchandise trade for the period stood at 31.89 trillion naira, reflecting a decline of 3.76% from the previous quarter, but a 150.39% increase compared to the 12.74 trillion naira recorded in the second quarter of 2023. In the quarter under review, exports accounted for 60.89% of the total trade, amounting to 19.42 trillion naira. This marks a 1.31% over the 19.17 trillion naira recorded in the first quarter of the year, and a 201.76% increase from the 6.44 trillion naira registered in the second quarter of the previous year. Meanwhile, Ogun State government is working closely with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council and other stakeholders to create a favorable environment for the cashew industry to flourish. This was during a one-day intervention program and distribution of cashew seedlings to farmers organized by NEPC in partnership with the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. The step is geared towards bolstering the state's comparative advantage in cashew production and strengthening the implementation of the One State, One Product initiative under export promotion. In another news, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has disclosed that 134 illegal refineries were destroyed in the past week. The NNPC also stated that 63 illegal pipeline connections were uncovered during the period. In a virtual report, the NNPC stated that a joint team of security agents discovered a large wooden boat illicitly loading stolen crude oil from barge AGSO-1 within the OML 18 operation area. It noted that based on credible intelligence, the large wooden boat was caught receiving crude oil from the barge and was stowed away with a tugboat in custody. It added that in Rivers State, 2 barges involved in illegal bunkering activities were also seized, and the crew members were arrested. Also, wooden boats transporting stolen crude oil were said to have been confiscated in Rivers, Delta, Bayelsa, and Abia states. With Business News, Tokwe Alabi.
The House of Representatives has shifted resumption from its annual recess by a week. House spokesman Akin Rotimi says the House will now resume plenary on Tuesday, September 24, 1 week away from September 17, initially communicated upon resumption. The leadership of the House is expected to inaugurate the new board of the Public Complaints Commission and the joint Senate and House ad hoc committees on the petroleum industry investigation. Members used during the period of the recess to engage their constituents on critical use or issues of concern and undertake oversight of the ministries, departments and agencies of government. Imagine after toiling for years to build a future and then suddenly you watch it crumble into rubbles. This is the story of some Nigerians deported from the United Arab Emirates to Nigeria. Ruth Aguele reports that 400 of them were received at the Nnamdi International Airport, Abuja, by officials from the federal government.
The search for greener pastures by many has unfortunately become a bleak reality. This is the story of most of these Nigerians who were deported from the United Arab Emirates. 400 of them clustered in different groups. From my interaction with some of them, as they share their stories, it was a similar thread.
So someone ordered Isiewu.
Becky, who has spent 8 years in UAE doing her jewelry business, expressed her pain of how she was allegedly abducted and detained for 11 days.
So I was serving the food when we were busted. They just came in with SWAT, guns and everything, like everybody lie down.
Them your legal documents?
They don't care. And they locked us somewhere, no soap, only water, no good food. Even after the investigation, they found out you are legal, you have paper, they don't care. They tell you, do I give you ID, do I take?
I was sleeping on this fateful Friday/Saturday, around 3 a.m. Boom! They just banged my door, broke my door. Yalla, 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 get up, get up, get up. What happened? They said kneel down. I kneel down. Before I know, they handcuffed me. They actually freed all other countries, except Nigeria.
On the flip side, some of the returnees who declined interviews were said to be those who were allegedly trafficked to the country.
When they went there, they were told a story that was so sweet, that it was actually a prostitution job that was given to them. But the way they told them wasn't how they met it. So they were forced to do so many things.
The men were also not left out in the silenced, brutal process they experienced before their return.
It's a very painful thing in a country where you have lived, and in these 20 years, you have never committed any crime. There is no criminal record. You just come in, pick someone, brutalize the person, beat the person, ask them for passport ID. They gave you a valid ID. You just pick them, take them to an isolated place for 14 good days.
For me, I have a company. My workers do not know where I am because I have not had the access to phone call for more than 2 weeks. My family, they don't even know where I am.
You know, what transpired there is not within our mandates. We don't deal with issues out there except they are voluntary or have had direct contact with governments. And so we are going to now have to look at case by case and see if those who have come back really have those permits. I haven't seen one. So if they have the permits, of course, it's within their rights to make a case and ensure that they return.
The federal government, through the Office of the National Security Advisor, in partnership with the National Commission for Refugees, Migrant and Internally Displaced Persons, and other stakeholders expressed readiness to reintegrate them.
For now, these deportees will be rehabilitated here in this temporary settlement, where they will be given psychosocial support. But for majority of them, it's a mixed feeling of where to start from, who to turn to, and what next. In Abuja, Ruth Aguwele, Nta News.
Our Resource Center for Human Rights and Civic Education has called for a comprehensive approach to address some decades of political and economic challenges that would shape the lives of the original inhabitants of the Federal Capital Territory. Executive Director of the Center, Ibrahim Zikirullahi, represented by Faith Wadishi, acknowledged the efforts undertaken by the present administration to positively advance the progress and inclusivity of the people of the FCT. Notably, for the first time in history, is that an Abuja native has been appointed as a Minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria.
By engaging in this collaboration and evaluation process, we hope to foster a deeper understanding of the complexities surrounding indigenous rights and to strengthen our collective efforts in promoting social justice and equity. Together, we can work towards creating a more inclusive and equitable society that respects and upholds the rights of all individuals, particularly those from marginalized communities.
That concludes the news at this time. News update is at 11. I'm Comfort Amadu. Many thanks for watching.